Hey, I am so excited to welcome you to this evening's Ecstatic Love Masterclass. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so excited for us to go on this journey together this evening, where I'm going to be sharing all of my juicy, sexy tips for manifesting ecstatic, lasting love in as little as 30 days. And this is all based on my own personal journey and my own personal experience with this. And if 30 days seems like way too little time to manifest what you want, I just want to share with you that it's actually not. 30 days is a lot of time. If you think of like action, 30 days is not a lot of time. You can do only so much in a certain amount of time in the period of 30 days. However, if you're talking in terms of energy and alignment and really powering up with orgasmic energy, which I'm going to talk to you later about during the call, but really getting so filled up with your yes, with your desire, with your turn on, and really getting rooted in your why. So why do you want this relationship? Why do you want this partnership? I want to say that miracles can happen, and they can happen really, really fast. They do happen really, really fast. So in a very short amount of time. So I would love to if you can, I would just like to make sure that you guys can hear me. So if you're on the call, I would love for you just to say, hello, I can hear you, or introduce yourselves if you want. You can just type it in the chat box and make sure that you type it to everyone instead of the all panelists. It's like people are just coming on. So I'll give you guys a moment to get situated. And if you're here and you can hear me, please just type, I can hear you. And if you can't hear me, then type, I can't hear you. Awesome. Hey, Diane, thank you so much. Beautiful. Oh, I believe I know which Diane is on this call. That's really exciting. Hey, Diane. Awesome. So let's begin the magic. Awesome. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about how this masterclass is going to go tonight. So first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, my story, and how I went from being single, like totally just single for over 4 years. And I was really in a space of desperation. I was like, oh my God, why haven't I been fucking single for so long? I feel like there's something like seriously like wrong with me. How I went from going from being single, desperate, and lonely to meeting the love of my life in literally 30 days, exactly 30 days from the time that I started to make these shifts. And I'm also going to address the number one mistake I see successful, driven, career women doing in their love lives that is sabotaging them from attracting lasting, ecstatic love. And I'm going to give you the 2 mindset shifts that I made that when I was really stuck with them, day in and day out. So I really changed over and over and over again. It wasn't like I just changed once. I made this commitment for this period of 30 days. And when I stuck with them, it turned everything around in such a short amount of time. And then at the end, I'm going to take you, this is going to be this is actually my favorite part of how I work with people on these live calls, but I'm going to take you through a live embodied practice that you can use over and over again that will help you unlock your natural feminine magnetism and attract the partner of your dreams, AKA a sex magic practice. Awesome. So, okay, great. So let's just jump right in. Beautiful. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit who I am and a little bit about my background. So my name is Claudia Lucida, and I work with single women to help them attract ecstatic, lasting love with the partner of their dreams. Now, why am I so passionate about this? Well, a few years ago, I was in a place in my life where many of you may be at right now. Like, I totally understand where you might be coming from right now. So after going through a series of failed relationships and getting burned by the guy that I was absolutely convinced was my soulmate, I entered this phase in my life that actually lasted for 4 years, where I felt heartbroken, I felt hopeless, I felt despondent, and I really believed that I just wasn't destined to find true love in this lifetime. I just thought maybe that's not for me. Like maybe that's for other people, but not for me. So Yeah, maybe you guys can relate to that story, like feeling like love is for other people. You know, you have friends that are married, like it feels like all of your friends are married, all of your friends are in relationships, and you feel like you're the only one who's single, and you feel like maybe you're cursed, or you just feel like, you know, you're just, for whatever reason, you're just not meant to find that person in this lifetime. And I totally want to share that I have been there. And yeah, I know what that feels like, and it feels pretty awful. So this was super devastating because I'd always been a hopeless romantic. I'd always believed in true love. But every time I tried to go out into the world and meet guys, I would either meet guys who were way more interested in me than I was in them, or maybe they satisfied some of the things that I wanted, but not all of them. So, you know, maybe I was really attracted to them. Like there was this like deep lust and this deep sexual connection, but I felt like they were total jerks. Like, and when it came to my heart, and I felt like really, like I would find, you know, guys that I was really attracted to, but they would just turn out to be assholes, or the opposite. So guys who were super kind, really like gentlemanly men, who actually I just didn't feel any chemistry with, who I felt kind of like turned off by. So I felt that was a really big thing that I was experiencing over and over again, like a pattern that I was experiencing. And a lot of the women that I work with have that same pattern. So it wasn't until I made these two simple and powerful mindset shifts and really stuck with them, like I said, day after day after day, that things shifted radically, and they shifted fast. And I'll be sharing those two things with you tonight. So enough about me. I want to talk a little bit about you. So maybe you are a woman who, you know, on the surface has so many of the things that she wants. Maybe you have a meaningful career that makes you excited to get out of bed in the morning. Maybe you have money. Maybe you have great friends. And yet there's this deep soul yearning for a lasting, joyful partnership with somebody who really meets you on all levels: physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. And maybe you've been dabbling in the dating world. Maybe you've been having totally disappointing experiences, and you're starting to wonder, does this person even exist? Like I said, so maybe I'm just not meant to find lasting love in this lifetime. So maybe you're resonating with some of the story that I told earlier. So I want to dispel the myth that there's nobody out there for you, but it's going to take a little bit of trust. Actually, it's going to take a lot of trust on your behalf, and maybe a little venture into woo-woo land, which is a place I love to hang out, because I've shown myself, again, the magic of what happens when we really energetically align ourselves with our desires. And I'll talk about that more later. But I promise you, when you lean into universal magic and stop trying to put it all on your own self to help you magnetize your dream partner, it will help you a lot. Because the hard work of finding the person isn't, like I said, it's no longer on you. It's actually on the magic of the synchronicity effect and the universe bringing you what you want in a way that feels fun, easy, and joyful. So I have this kind of metaphor that I like to work with called the man blender. And it might sound a little bit weird, a little bit gross, but stay with me here for a second. So imagine that every desire that you've ever had, so whether on a conscious or unconscious level, has been answered on some level by source, by God, by the universe, however you want to define that. And I know this requires a bit of a leap of faith to understand, but if you think about it, there's nothing half-assed about this universe. So creation is not something that happens through our struggle, our hard work, or our suffering. So examples of this are the Earth continuing to spin in its orbit, the sun coming up every single morning, the human body. I mean, the human body works in the most seemingly magical kind of ways, like all of the, you know, how our blood flows and the oxygen like comes into our cells, and we're, you know, it just works in this perfect kind of alignment. All of the pieces work together. And so there's this perfection and magic to this universe that we cannot begin to even understand from our human perspective. So I want you to assume for a minute that the same is true for the relationship that you desire, so that every aspect of someone that you've ever wanted in a partner already exists, and it exists in the same person. So say, for instance, that you want to be with somebody who is smart, sexy, financially successful, somebody who really gets you on that deep level, somebody who respects you and appreciates you and adores you. Now imagine the universe taking all of these qualities, throwing them into this blender, and voila, out pops your perfect partner. So why this sounds far-fetched, but is not too good to be true. So this actually sounds weird, I know, and it sounds kind of like gross even, like it's this man blender thing. But it's really not, because I have experienced this in my own life, that I had all of these qualities that I wanted in a partner, that I would find one in one partner. So I'd be sexually attracted to this one guy, and I would be intellectually attracted to this other guy, and then I would be emotionally attracted to this other guy. And it was like all of my different desires were being met in different people. However, when I really let go and I put it on the universe, I trusted that my desires were valid, I trusted that my desires were real, it led me to the perfect rendezvous point where I knew beyond a shadow of doubt that I had met the one. And we've been together for the last almost 4 years now. So that's a little bit about the man blender. So first, now I want to share with you the number one mistake I see successful, brilliant, ambitious career women make in their dating lives. All right, you ready for it? So if you are feeling like you keep making one mistake, I want to just out you, see if this resonates. So especially if you are very career driven, especially if you're very focused on making things happen in your life, especially if you are really into your work or your career, any of these things, this is something that you want to watch out for, especially in your dating life and in your relationships. So this number one mistake I see successful, brilliant, ambitious career women make in their dating lives, they try to hustle in the love. So hustling, the energy of hustling, I'm not going to deny that it works for certain things. It does work in a context of work. It does work in a context of kind of like getting your shit together. If you have a long to-do list, sometimes you just need to put the hustle on. But this does not work in the game of love, ladies. So what happens is these women, and you may resonate with this, a lot of my clients cannot surrender. They cannot receive. And they always are taught that the harder they work, the harder they try, the more successful in love they will be. Now, why this is completely wrong in the context of dating and love is because it pushes men away. So what happens is a lot of women treat men like they treat dating like job interviews. Like, have you ever felt like you were out on a date and you were like either interviewing somebody or maybe they were interviewing you, and this kind of like testing or like proving energy, and it felt totally like out of whack and really like weird and not magic, like the opposite of magical. So what happens with a lot of women is we treat men like job interviews. We treat dating like job interviews, and we can't surrender to the magic of your own creation, that you have created this thing, your desires, it's in your man blender. So your man blender is spinning, but you are trying to hustle in the love. So you're not allowing the magic of the creation, the relationship that you have already created. So you try to make it happen instead of letting the magic happen. And I know, again, this kind of does require a huge leap of faith, and it requires a sort of suspension of disbelief. But once you make that shift, once you really like cross through that portal, if you can imagine, like there's this portal and like on one side, so you're in this place right now of like lack of love, like lack of relationship, lack of man. But if you could literally just suspend your disbelief for like 30 days and be like, all right, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to trust that this person is coming, and I'm just going to let myself move through this portal. And while you're in this portal, I know very like metaphysical analogies coming up tonight, but as you're going through this portal, you're not worried because you trust that on the other side of this portal is the relationship you want. You trust the perfection of your own creation. So the remedy for this is to trust the perfection of your own creation, and the trust that the person is already there. So I want to share the mantra that I actually used when I was when I was in this place of feeling like really like broken and desperate and single. Yeah, so the mantra that I used that got me the love of my life, got me to in the place of meeting the love of my life in exactly 30 days. I said, I am willing. Okay, you might want to write this down just because it's so freaking good. I use this actually for other stuff I want to create in my life right now, but just listen to this and take notes if it resonates with you, because it's a super, super powerful mantra, and it really takes the responsibility out of your own hands and puts it back in the responsibility of source, of God, of the universe. Okay, you ready? So, I am willing to let go and allow the universe to show me the magnificent partner I have already created for myself. Okay, I'm going to repeat that one more time. I am willing to let go and allow the universe to show me the magnificent partner I have already created for myself. So it's already done. It's in the man blender. All you got to do is get out of your own way and pick up that blender and pour it in your glass. I don't know why I'm like, these like analogies are kind of like, they sound a little bit gross sometimes, but I honestly couldn't think of a better analogy because it's like all of these qualities spinning together. So one more time, I'm going to say that one more time, that mantra. I am willing to let go and allow the universe to show me the magnificent partner I have already created for myself. Okay, you got that? Awesome. So, whoops. Okay. So now I'm going to share with you the simple and radical. So it's so simple that you almost think, that's so stupid, Claudia. You almost think, oh my God, that's too simplistic. It won't work for me. And the reason why these kind of simple things don't work, well, there's a number of reasons, and I won't get into all of that right now. But the reason why it feels so freaking complicated sometimes to get what we want, especially in terms of the love and creating the relationship that we want, is because it seems so fucking simple, so freaking simplistic, that we are used to making, especially as women, we are used to making things complicated. We are used to making things hard on ourselves, and we have this sort of blockage around things being easy and simple. So it sounds almost ridiculously simple, but I'm gonna, so it's ridiculously simple, and it's super radical, and it's radical because it's so simple. And the only reason why it's radical is because it's simple, and the only reason why it's simple is because it's radical. So these two simple and radical shifts that I made that brought in true love in just 30 days. Number one, are you ready? Okay, it's gonna sound so stupid and in some ways so freaking simplistic and so stupid. But I'm gonna share it with you because that's what worked, and that is what works. It's the quickest way to get there. So I decided to take radical, again, there's that word radical emotional responsibility for my own experience. So, okay. So basically what I mean by that, I tuned myself to the frequency of the relationship that already exists. So I had this mantra that this relationship already existed, that I really just had to get out of my own way. And I was willing to let go and allow the universe to show me this magnificent relationship. However, I took it into my own hands to become a vibrational match to that relationship by waking up every single day and saying, Claudia, how am I going to feel today? How do I want to feel? How do I want this relationship to feel? And how can I get myself there, not through action, not through effort, not through struggle, not through hard work? How can I get myself there emotionally? How can I become a match, an energetic match to the relationship that I want? And so I did this by taking radical emotional accountability for my own life. I would wake up every day and I said, okay, today I'm going to feel ease. and I would focus on ease for the first hour after I woke up. I would just focus on ease. I would say ease, 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 ease. Really feel it in my body, really feel it in my cells, really feel it in my energy body. Really just fill myself up with the vibration, with the energy, with the emotion of ease. The other one was ecstasy. I wanted this relationship to feel ecstatic. And that's why I called this masterclass Ecstatic Love Masterclass. So I would just fill myself up with the energy of ecstasy. And I would just do that over and over and over again. I would just feel like ecstasy, 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 ecstasy. I remember I would literally go to a cafe in the morning before I had to work, and I would type on my laptop the word ecstasy, 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 ease, ease, ease. And it felt very kind of ridiculous after a while, but I was just hammering it in like relentlessly, like a fucking relentless, like just like warrior in some, I was just like, I was determined to feel the way I wanted to feel in this relationship. And it wasn't even this like, I'm going to feel this way, so then I'll get the relationship that I want. It was more like, I want to feel this way because I want to feel this way. And the relationship, great. If it comes, amazing. I'm letting that go. I know it's coming. I don't have to worry about that. I trust that it's coming. My job, my only job, is to attune myself to the energy, to the emotional experience, to the frequency of my desire, which really did exist in this place of ease and ecstasy. And so that was my biggest commitment to myself. I did over and over and over again. Like a drill, just like a drill sergeant. So that was number one, radical emotional responsibility. Number two, are you ready? So we're talking about emotional experience, tuning yourself to the frequency of your desires through your emotional. And I decided to do something that I had never done before that seemed very strange, because I had always been a very cerebral person and I was sort of lived in my head. But I was like, if I'm going to bring this relationship into my life, I have to turn on. I have to not only think about ecstasy, I have to not only feel the emotion of ecstasy, I have to embody ecstasy. And I have to turn myself on. So what I did was I really went on this sensual journey for 30 days. In addition to the emotional accountability, I would do just really indulged in a way that felt, some people might argue, was extremely hedonistic. I was like, my life, my very livelihood is dependent upon me doing these things. I knew that like this is what I had to do, not just to get the relationship, but to show myself how freaking powerful I was, to show myself that I could create magnificently. I could create what I want, something that was a match to my true desire, versus some sort of half-assed mediocre version of what I wanted. So, okay, so you ready? I turned on, I literally would, so I would self-pleasure, like constantly. I self-pleasured. I would go to the hot springs like every other day. I'm not kidding you. I would drive up to Harbin Hot Springs in which no longer exists, but I would drive up and I would just get so just juiced up and filled up with my own sensuality and my own like nakedness in the pools and just feeling so delicious in my body. And I would just feel I would feel myself light up with radiance in a way that I never had before. So I really began to live in this body and live in this space of orgasmic creation, what I like to call orgasmic creation, where I really felt myself sucking in my desires from my turn on, from my orgasmic energy, from my sexual energy center. So both of these things, okay, emotional accountability, radical emotional accountability for my own experience, and turning on, activating my sensuality and my pleasure, and really doing this day after day after day after day. And I had the blessing of not actually being employed at that time. So I had a lot of free time to really focus on this. But in some ways, it's actually easier I've noticed to manifest what you want when you do have kind of a schedule going on. In some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. But I had all this time on my hands to like just think and like overthink everything. So if you can even schedule this in, like wake up half an hour early or wake up 15 minutes early each day and literally decide how you want to feel that day, and how you want to feel. First of all, define how you want to feel in this relationship. And then how are you going to feel every single day on your way to that relationship? So you're going to feel joyful. Are you going to feel just so delighted? Are you going to just feel like so proud of yourself for creating something so magnificent? So whatever really satisfy, I love that word. So whatever really speaks to you in terms of like emotional experiences of the relationship that you want to have, you can take a note of that right now, just so you have that for a reference, a frame of reference. And then make a list of things. So whenever you have free time throughout your day, whenever you are done with work, or even during your lunch break, or whenever you have time throughout your day, find ways. You can even brainstorm a list right now, or I recommend doing that. You can either do it right now, or you can do it after the call or sometime in the next couple of days. Make a list of things that give you pleasure, that give you just that deep sense of like juice and pleasure and turn on. I'm a big fan of self-pleasuring, aka masturbation. So that's a big one for me. Practicing Tantra has become a big one for me. Getting massages, going to hot springs, all of these things really activate my sense of my sensuality and that embodiment, that visceral embodiment of my ecstasy, my turn on. So you start feeling radiant, you start feeling irresistible to yourself, to the world, and to ultimately the man or the relationship that you want to magnetize. All right. So I am now going to share with you my very sexy. Ooh, it's quite sexy. This is a little, I promise to keep things relatively PG-13-ish rated on this call. I won't do anything too racy, but it is sexy in the sense that it involves your sexual energy. And I feel like this is something that people forget when we're talking about the law of attraction, we're talking about manifestation. People forget the most amazing tool, especially as women, but also of guys. We might have a couple guys on this call, I'm not sure. But the most amazing tool that we have access to as women, as human beings, that allows us to activate our manifestation powers. And this is nothing less than the power of the PUSSY, pussy power. And when you're really centered in your pussy power, you feel fucking unstoppable. God, I am clearly not censoring myself anymore in this call. You feel unstoppable. You feel, honestly, when I'm in my pussy power and I can feel her, actually I have a jade egg in right now. So I'm feeling her. I'm definitely feeling her pretty strong right now. A jade egg is just a little, if you don't know what that is, it's go look it up online. It's a really powerful tool to help you activate your pussy power. But when I'm fully in my pussy power, when I'm embodying my pussy power and I walk into a room, or I walk into like a cafe, or like, really anywhere. Sometimes I'm even just driving down the highway and I can feel myself like beaming this radiance just out of my car. It's like this beam of light is just like coming out through me. But it really, it's that turn on. It's that activation. It's like, it's what basically, it's the difference between feeling invisible to the world and feeling invisible to yourself, and feeling invisible to what you want, feeling invisible to your desires. So it's the difference between that and feeling like a magnet for your desires, a magnet for men, a magnet for love, a magnet for flirtation, a magnet for really anything that you want, a magnet for money. So have you ever had the experience of walking through a room and feeling just so lit up with your own radiance and just so like turned on to life, either through your pussy power or your heart works sort of the same, but you just felt like you were lighting up the entire room, and you could just see people were like looking at you, and people were noticing you, and you just felt like this like hot like just goddess walking through this room. So if you've ever experienced that, you can type that in the chat box. I'm not gonna pressure you guys if you're feeling a little shy talking about your pussy power. Okay, awesome. Yes. An emphatic yes. Okay, so you've had that experience, so you know what that feels like. Okay. So I'm going to teach you right now my sexy 5-step system that you can really put this theory into practice. So you can really activate your pussy power, and you can shift your inner landscape, revolutionize your love life, and attract your dream partner in as little as 30 days, or let's just say less time than you thought possible, especially that you've been single for a while. Okay. So step one, ask yourself, how would I feel if this person came into my life? So we already talked about emotional accountability, but really close your eyes for a moment and just imagine that this relationship is done. This relationship is yours. This relationship has landed in your life. Okay? How does that feel? Okay. So why don't you choose 2 emotions, 2 vibrations or emotional experiences or emotional states that you believe that you would feel if this relationship were to come into your life. Okay. So once you do that, so for me, I'm going to choose fun because I love fun. Fun, honestly, I could do an entire class just about fun, because fun is just so much freaking fun. But okay, so I'm going to, so for me, it would be fun and easy. Fun and easy. Oh, it just feels easy to be with this person. It just feels like I don't have to try hard. It feels just natural. It just feels easy. It just feels like I can relax. It feels like I can be myself. It feels like I can be just totally authentic and just totally like not worry about much of anything. So that's easy. And fun, oh my God, this relationship is so much fun. We have so much fun together. It's ridiculous. I just love being with this person. This person is so much freaking fun. I love going out with this person. I love like driving my car with this person in the driver's seat, and I'm in the, or whatever, with the top down, convertible hair blowing back in the air. And I'm getting a little carried away, but really activate whatever feelings you believe that this relationship would make you feel, and just let yourself rest in the experience of that. So close your eyes. I'm going to get a little more comfy in here. So just easy and fun. Just fill yourself up with whatever emotions that you know this relationship would just make you feel. Beautiful. Okay. So step 2, it's easy to get in our head, especially as women, men too, all of us, frankly. So right now, I'm going to invite you to use your sexual center to anchor in these feelings. Okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to breathe those emotions, those feelings in to your pelvis, into your womb, into your ovaries, and just let them fill you up. Fill your cells on a deep, visceral level. So you can almost imagine there's like a mouth at the bottom of your pelvis, so your perineum. Imagine that there's a mouth right there, and you're just breathing these emotions into your pelvis. Just really soaking up this experience. What you know this relationship would feel like. So for me, easy and fun. So I'm just going to take a moment just to really breathe, anchor in. Easy and fun into my pelvis, into my womb, into my ovaries. Just going to fill myself up with that energy. Okay, so you do that for a minute or two. Just really fill yourself up with the vibration of what you want this relationship to feel like. Okay, so once you're anchored in that emotional state, you are going to take it one step further. So this is step 3, and you're going to do a 5 senses reality visualization. So sometimes visualizations are just like with the third eye, it's very like cortex, part of the brain. You're very focused with your visualizing, but it can feel very intense and very tight. So what I like to do is visualize with the 5 senses. So you are anchoring it in, not just in your kind of third eye or, your cortex. You are experiencing this relationship with your 5 senses. Okay. So as you let yourself marinate in the experience of what it feels like to really have this person in your life, I want to invite you to drop into a more visceral, embodied experience of what this feels like. So, okay, so once again, close your eyes. Just feel those feelings. So for me, it's fun and easy. And just notice. Imagine that you have this relationship. It's done. It's yours. The universe has delivered it to you on a silver platter. Now just notice, what do you see? So what can you see with your eyes that lets you know that this relationship is real? Okay. Now notice, what do you hear? So maybe you hear him whispering, "I love you," into your ears. Just notice what you hear. Now notice, what can you touch? So can you touch him? Can you touch his body? Can you touch some like soft, silky textiles. Just notice what you touch that lets you know that this relationship is real. Okay. Now notice, what do you taste? Just really let yourself drink in this sensation of touch, or sorry, of taste. Can you taste him? Can you taste delicious foods or fruits or chocolate? Just let yourself really experience what you taste. And now just notice, what do you smell that lets you know that this relationship is real? So does he smell a particular way? Do you smell? People seem to smell the ocean. You might smell the ocean. A place where you guys are off on some romantic destination, date together. Just notice what you smell. Okay. Beautiful. So when you really activate your 5 senses in this way, it allows you to embody the experience of the relationship. So you're not just thinking about it, but you're really dropping in the full visceral embodiment of what this relationship feels like in a real, tangible kind of way. So we're going to take it even one step further, and this is the next step, is to do a sex magic or embodied breath manifestation ritual. So we're not going to be doing sex magic live on this call. However, you can do this at home. I have a MP3 recording that I'm going to send you guys that really guides you through this whole process of sex magic. But for the purposes of this call, I'm going to demo it using breath. So you can do sex magic. You can do this exact same process while self-pleasuring. So while masturbating, while touching yourself. And when you get to the end of it, you can climax, and it really brings this whole kind of orgasmic, creative experience into your process, into your practice. But right now we're just going to do it with breath, and the breath works almost just as powerfully. So, okay. All right, you ready? So I want you to envision your sexual energy, your sexual creative energy that is the life force energy that you came from, that is responsible for you being here. And in my opinion, responsible for every act of creative genius, whether that's your masterful job, your masterful relationship, your masterful sex life, your masterful anything in your life. I really believe that your sexual energy is the key to unlocking your mastery in all areas of your life. But right now we're just focusing on relationships. So right now you're going to envision your sexual energy as this white pearl light sitting at the base of your pelvis. So at your perineum, you can do it either with the cervix. Right now we're just going to do it with your perineum. So that your pelvic floor, you're going to imagine a white pearl light sitting there at your pelvic floor. Okay, so just visualize that and really just feel that all of your sexual energy is just flowing, gathering into that one spot in your body. Okay. Now you are going to, as you visualize this white pearl light, you're going to visualize it. You're going to breathe in, and you're going to visualize it traveling up through your pelvis into the level of your womb, and then back down. front of the body. So up the spine, and then you're going to breathe it out, back down into the perineum. So up into the womb and down back into the perineum. And you're going to make a little circle with your sexual energy, and you're going to be activating your different chakras with your sexual energy. So I'm going to guide you through the whole process right now. And we're going to spend about 30 seconds on each chakra, okay? So that was the demo. Now we're going to do it one more time for real, okay? So visualize that white pearl light sitting at the basis of your pelvic floor. You're going to breathe it in, up the back of your spine, into your womb, and back down the front of your body, back into your perineum. So keep going with that. So you're converting this raw, primal, sexual energy into a more refined state in your womb, your creative center, and back down into your primal roots. So okay. Now you're going to breathe that same pearl light. You're going to feel that. You're going to visualize it traveling up the back of your spine and into the level of your solar plexus and back down the front of your body. So this time you are converting that raw primal sexual fuel into power, willpower, confidence. Yes. All of that energy, that will that you need to commit to making this relationship a reality in your life, okay? So, definitely feeling some energy activation. Probably are as well. So now you're going to take that pearl light and you are going to breathe it up the back of your spine into the level of your heart. And so this is where your raw, primal, sexual, creative fuel is going to convert into this pure state of love. It's really going to help you open your heart, really release any resistance that you feel, any protection that you might feel, and it's going to allow you to just fully embody that love, that desire for love that you really want to bring in this next relationship. Okay, so you can even slow it down. I like to make a lot of sounds, if you haven't noticed, when I'm doing this process. It's like it adds a lot of power to it. Okay, so now you've activated your heart chakra through this primal sexual energy, this primal sexual power. So now you're going to open up your throat. So we're going to breathe that raw fuel up from that white pearl light all the way up into the energy of your throat, and then you're going to breathe it back down the front of your body. Okay, so here you're going to be opening up your voice. You're going to be connecting with the element of ether, opening up your ability to use your voice, express your authentic truth in relationship, and really be who you truly are, and vocalize that and communicate that in relationship. Oh, feeling very, very juicy over here. I don't know about you, but it's starting to feel pretty electric in here. So now you are going to breathe that raw sexual energy, that white pearl light, and you're going to breathe it up the back of your body, and you're going to activate your third eye. So this is your pure consciousness, your meditative awareness, this true embodiment, this true feeling of clarity, of desire, knowing what you want, wisdom. It's amazing. Okay. So now you're going to take that white pearl light in your cervix, and you're going to, or in your perineum, you're going to breathe it up the back of your body to the level of your crown. And this is going to connect you with your universe, the universal magic that is going to bring you what you want. Gratitude, all of the blessings that are raining down upon you, that the universe is just bestowing upon you. This is going to help you activate that and open up all of those men, all of those amazing men who want to come into your life, or that one amazing man who's ready to come into your life. So one more time, you're going to breathe that energy. You're going to collect all of that energy that you've activated during this practice through all of the different chakras. You're going to feel all of that juicy, electric turn on. Collect one more time in your pelvic floor, and you're going to breathe it in, and you're going to, on the exhale, you're going to breathe it out through the crown of your head into the universe, where it's going to be received, celebrated, and embraced. All of your desires. So one more time, you're going to inhale that all the way down to your pelvic floor. And then exhale into the five senses reality. So into that visualization, into the universe where your desire is received. And you're going to feel that energy now trickle back down through your body, through your crown, all the way down through all of your chakras. As you repeat to yourself, it's done. Really feel this. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. Until it gets all the way back down to your root, to your pelvic floor. Awesome. So I would love for you, if you just did that sex magic practice with me, I would love for you just to share in the chat box what you experienced during that practice, what that felt like. And I would just love to hear if you felt any energy, if you felt any activation, if you felt any strong sensations. I would love for you just to share what that was like for you. Just put that in the chat box, or put that even in the Q&A. Okay. Come on, guys. I want to hear what your juicy sex magic practice felt like. Very relaxing. Awesome. I'm very glad to hear that. Yes. Yeah, it doesn't have to be this kind of spastic sort of like, oh my God, like ecstatic. Like ecstatic can actually be very deep. It can be very relaxed. It can be very just loving. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Loving, very loving. I'm so glad to hear that. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. So as you're coming back from wherever you have just been on that practice, and I want to just celebrate you all for really sticking that out. I know it's probably not every day that you jump on a call with, I'm not a stranger to all of you, but pretty much an absolute stranger, and do a sex magic practice or a process that uses your sexual energy in that way. So I just want to say like fuck yeah, all of you, for going for it, for being up for the challenge, for just, really saying yes to the power of this creative energy that's within you, and to really centering yourself in that radiance, in that magnetism, in that yes, in that it's done feeling before you do that. So I would love to know if you guys have any questions specifically around sex magic, or this embodied breath manifestation process, or really anything else around, creating a dream relationship, dating, attracting love, having being in sexual partnership, any of these things. You can just either type that in the Q&A or, awesome. Yeah, it was my pleasure. Thank you for an informative. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was so much fun having you on here, you guys. I would love to support you right now in any ways that you would love help on. So I know some of you guys might feel shy. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet, Diane. I wish I could see you through I wish I could see you as well. Oh. It's actually it's weird. I did a very similar class a month ago, and there was it ended at the same time, and there was so much light still, and now it's actually getting kind of dark, and I have this one side lamp. So there's a little bit of fuzz on the camera here, but yeah. So if anyone has any questions specifically around dating, around men, around magnetism, around sex, any of these things, I would love to support you in any way that I can right now. And if not, that's totally fine. You can also email me later if something comes to mind later. I do want to share with you a little bit about what I've got going on right now. So I am talking to you really about dramatically shifting your inner landscape and taking a quantum leap into love. So I talked about my experience of 30 days. I find that this process really requires about 3 to 6 months for most women. So for me, it was just gung-ho, I'm going for it, no excuses. But sometimes there are blocks that need to be addressed and need to be specifically looked at and integrated and shifted before you can really step into that yes. And so it's nice having that space, nice having that time, and nice having that support as well. So what I've found that when I really want to create what I want in my life, whether it's a relationship, a certain amount of money, or whatever, I basically in some ways I have to kind of ignore my current reality, or really just selectively focus almost exclusively on what pleases me about my current reality, in order to really take that step forward and really kind of sculpt the energetic clay of what I want. and focus so purely on my desire that they just can't not happen. So it's like it has to happen when you're in that space. Like really going through this portal of lack of love to love, or lack of relationship to relationship. So you can do it on your own, and I've done this on my own around certain things. And yet the more that I've discovered that the more and more that I lean into mentors, into community, I have some amazing sisterhood communities. Some of you are a part of those. So community, high vibrational sisterhood, where I have living, breathing examples of people who have what I want. So I know that it's not only just kind of like, it may be possible for me at some point, but that it is definitely possible. And that like, if other people can do this, I can do it too. Right? So we're already at the place where I want to go. It's a lot easier for me to shift into that reality of what I most desire to create in my life, and to have that emotional accountability, and to hold, you know, there is a time and a place for deep healing to occur, and to really address blockages, and to really integrate blockages. Sometimes I feel like we get overly focused on that. We get like so into the, you know, path of like trying to purify ourselves and make ourselves perfect before we really like say yes to our desires and really embrace, you know, what we want, and say like, all right, bring it on, universe. But there can be a more subtle process where there is a deeper kind of integration that needs to take place, where we're actually getting these the pieces and the blocks and the voices inside of ourselves that say we can't have what we want, to really actually heal and integrate into and really move into alignment and move into harmony with the part of us who does know what we want and does know that we can have what we want. So all of these pieces within us are working together. So it can help really to have somebody hold you through that healing and integration that needs to happen before you can allow this in. So it can be a lot harder to do this on your own. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's kind of like it's like a boost. It's like a, you know, like you're, it's a real boost to have somebody supporting you who has been through the journey, who's been from, you know, who's gone from the point A to Z, to really support you and guide you and hold your hand along the way. So I like to say, for deep transformation to really take place, it's necessary to have this holy trinity in place: the right tools, the right mindset, and the right support. So whether that's from a coach, a mentor, a teacher of some kind, it really can help to have that right support as well. So for those of you guys who are on the call tonight, I am so thrilled that I got to spend, and I'm just so honored too that you spent this hour with me on this probably busy like Tuesday fall evening to spend this time with me. Just really amazing for you all to show up in this way. So I wanted to offer this free gift of this Ecstatic Love Breakthrough Session, which is basically a free 45-minute call where I will help you. We'll talk one-on-one. I'll call you up and we will hone in on exactly the partnership you are wanting to attract into your life right now. So get super, super crystal clear on your desire, because if you don't know what you don't want, if you don't know what you want, it's pretty hard to attract it in. If you don't have that clarity, at least of how this relationship will feel. And then I'll help you address any of the specific challenges that are coming up for you around attracting lasting love into your life, and to really see, is this something that you would like to explore further with me? So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there as my offer to you guys who showed up live on the call. And I will be sending out an email about that later, but I just wanted to put that in the chat box so you have access to that as well if you'd like to sign up for one of these breakthrough calls with me. So Yeah, that is basically a link to my calendar. So you can schedule in one of these calls, these ecstatic love breakthrough sessions with me over the next week or two. I would love to support with you in, in really stepping into this vision of this dream relationship that you are wanting into your life and wanting to bring into your life. And you deserve this. Believe me, you deserve this. And I promise that this person exists. I know with everything that I am, that this person is real, this person exists, and this person is probably a lot closer than you actually think he is right now. So yeah, so it was such a beautiful experience being with you guys all tonight. It was so fun, such an honor to have all of you on here. And if you have any more questions, feel free to type those in the Q&A box. And if not, we can call this call this a call it a wrap for the night. So I'll just wait another minute or so if you guys want to type in any questions or any final last words or final thoughts. Awesome, Diane. I can't wait to talk to you. Beautiful. Oh, thank you, Peggy. Oh, it's so sweet. Yeah, so again, please sign up to chat with me one-on-one, for the breakthrough call. I would love to support you and just really see if this is something that you'd like to explore further together. And in the next couple of days, probably in the next day, I will be sending you my special MP3 recording of the sex magic practice that you can do by yourself. So it's not so much like me talking. It's more just like super focused. It's just audio, and you can literally put this on and do the sex magic practice with self-pleasuring. And yeah, awesome. So thank you guys so much for such an amazing call. It was such a beautiful, again, it was such an honor. You probably can't tell, but I'm blushing. You should have been blushing throughout this call. So it's quite hot too. I'm in the desert. So, okay, I hope to hear from you all soon. Love you guys. Have a beautiful Tuesday evening and a beautiful rest of your week. All right. Mwah. Ciao, ciao.